Now here in this video we are concerned with the unit number 2 belongs to paper number 4 semester 2nd. In this particular unit we will discuss about the Salient features of angiosperms. Here you are well known about the group angiosperms. It is a highly evolved, most advanced group of plant, and you know that it is a major or dominant group of the plant on the earth. As far as the angiosperms are there, they are simply called as phanerogams. Sometimes it is also called as flowering plants. That means angiosperms are a phanerogams and a flowering plants, a most advanced group. It is a highly evolved group, and it is a highly dominant group on the earth. Near about 3 lakh species of angiosperms are now exist on the earth. Here, as far as this number of plants present currently on the earth, because these plants are having high adaptive capacity, these plants are adapted to a different type of environment, and due to that it becomes dominant on the earth. And here, as far as angiosperms are concerned, angiosperm means simply the plants with the vessels and seeds are enclosed in the ovary wall. That means, as far as the characters are concerned, angiosperms are simply identified only because of two important characters. That is, it contains a seeds enclosed in the ovary wall, and also it contains a vessels in the xylem tissue. You know that xylem is a complex tissue, and in this xylem complex tissue, vessels are present. Vessel is the one element which is present in the xylem element, and it is present in the xylem tissue in angiosperm, and it is absent in case of a comparatively closer group gymnosperm, and in case of gymnosperm the vessels are absent. This is the criteria used for classification of gymnosperm and angiosperm. Then, as far as the angiosperms are there, they are called as flowering plant, and these are some Salient features of angiosperm. And in this Salient feature, first, the plant body is a sporophytic with leaves, stem and root. That means angiosperm, the plants are sporophytic. That means the actual plant body is a sporophytic. It bears a spore, that is microspores and megaspore. These are the two types of spores are developed in the reproductive structure of angiosperm, and the reproductive structure, you know, that is commonly called as a flower, and hence the plants are called as flowering plants. Then, as far as this plant body is concerned, it contains a leaves, stem and root. That means there is a differentiation of root, stem and leaves. A well-developed higher plant body is there, and these plant bodies are simply, according to size, it is simply classified as herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers. There are different types of plant bodies are there according to the size and nature of plant body. Herbs are there, shrubs are there, climbers are there, and trees are also there. That means these plants are sporophytic because it bears a spore directly on the plant body and with a stem, leaves and root. Then, as far as the sporophytic nature, the diploid vegetative cells of that plant bodies are diploid cytologically, hence it is also called as a sporophytic. Then, second character is there, that is vessels are present in the seeds and it is enclosed in the ovary wall. That means vessel is a one type of element. In case of xylem is a complex tissue. You know that xylem is a complex tissue, and in this complex tissue there are 4 elements are there. These are simply called as vessels, tracheads, xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma, and in that all 4 type of that xylem elements are present in angiosperm, while in gymnosperm the vessels are absent. Only 3 xylem elements are there, that is tracheads, fibers and parenchyma. This is the second difference in case of gymnosperm and angiosperm. That means angiosperms are having vessels and seeds are enclosed in ovary wall. That means in angiosperm there is a well developed gynoecium. This is the female structure, female oral, which is present in the flower, and this gynoecium, it contains a basal swollen portion that is called as ovary, and in this ovary there is a ovules are, or it is also called as megasporangium, and they are present in the ovary wall. Hence it is called as seeds are enclosed in the ovary wall. As far as the gymnosperms is considered, the ovules are naked without any ovary wall. That means gynoecium is absent in the gymnosperm, gynoecium is present in the angiosperm. That means seeds are naked in the gymnosperm and seeds are enclosed in ovary wall of the gynosium in case of angiosperm. Then next Salient feature is there. Plant produces flowers, fruits. In case of this angiosperm, they are commonly called as a flowering plant because it contains a complex reproductive structure having a determinate growth, and this complex attractive reproductive structure is called as a flower, which is totally absent in all other groups of the plant. That means flower is a particular complex reproductive structure and it is present only in angiosperm and not present in other groups. In other groups, there may be a male cone and female cone and other structures are also there. That means flowers are present. Particularly in angiosperms, fruits are developed only because of ovary. Ovary, it encloses the seeds, and after fertilization in angiosperm, seeds are developed into ovules are developed into seeds, and ovary is modified into a fruit-like structure. Hence, fruit is present in the angiosperm. It is absent in gymnosperm because there is no ovary in gymnosperm. Hence, only seeds are there and they are naked in nature. In case of gymnosperm, in angiosperm, seeds are enclosed in ovary wall. That means ovary is modified into fruit and ovules are modified into seeds after fertilization. Then the next character is there, that is the plants. As far as the life cycle of angiosperm is concerned, there are two phases in the life cycle. One that is sporophytic phase and second that is gametophytic phase. In case of angiosperm, the first phase and dominant phase is the sporophytic phase, and second phase is the reduced phase, a much reduced and a small phase, and it is a totally dependent phase on the sporophyte, and it is called as gametophytic phase, and it is a highly reduced phase because microspore and megaspore, these are the two structures present in the gametophytic phase. Then this microspore germinate, it produces a male gametophyte. It contains two male gametes. At that time it is called as a male gamete. That means pollen grain with two male gametes is called as a male gametophyte. And in case of megaspore, megaspores are developed in the ovule. At that time it is called as megasporangium, and this is the female gametophyte. That means gametophytes are very much reduced. Sometimes it may be microscopic in nature, and hence it is a reduced one. And this plant contains a flower. That means you are well known about the structure of flower. Flower is made up of 4 different whorls, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynosium. In case of that 4 whorls, the division of labor is there, and it is a most complex and a advanced structure in plant kingdom. Calyx and corolla, these are the 2 accessory whorls, and androecium and gynosium, these are the 2 reproductive whorls. These are called as the essential whorls. 4 whorls combined forms a flower, and in these 4 whorls, the male sex organ is there. It is called as androecium, and female sex organ or female whorl is called as a gynosium. In male structure, anther is there, and this anther contains a microspores, while in ovule, ovule is present in the ovary, in the gynosium, and this ovule is the megasporangium. This is about the microsporangium and megasporangiums, and microspores and megaspores present in the flower, and it is included in the gametophytic phase. Then pollination takes place by insect, wind and water. That means, you know that pollination means transfer of pollen grain from flower to the stigma of another flower, or sometimes on the same flower. The process is called as a pollination, and the pollination takes place with the help of some agencies. It may be sometimes insect, it may be a wind, or sometimes water. If the plants are hydrophytic in nature, the water is the pollinating agent. If the plants are with attractive flowers, insects are pollinating agents, and if the plants are having light pollen grains or microspores and they are not attractive, at that time it is a wind responsible for pollination. This is about the pollination takes place by insect, wind and water. Then most important characteristic of angiosperm is that it contains a double fertilization and a triple fusion. That means at the time of fertilization of male and female gamete, the process is there which is not present in other group of plant, that is a double fertilization and a triple fusion. That means what happens here, 2 male gametes are developed in single male gametophyte, and these two male gametes are entered in the megasporangium in the ovule. At that time they are discharged in the ovule, and one male gamete fuse with the female gamete, that is egg, and second male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus which is present at the center. It is also called as the primary endosperm nucleus, and this two male gamete fuse at two different sites, hence it is called as a double fertilization. That means fertilization takes place in two different cells. And triple fusion means one male gamete fused with the diploid, or the nucleus having two nuclei. These two nuclei and male gamete, three nuclei are fused together at the center in the primary endosperm nucleus or secondary nucleus. At that time it is called as a triple fusion, and this process is very important process, and it is responsible for development of endosperm in the seeds of angiosperm, and this facility is only present in angiosperm and not occur in the other groups of plant. Then most important character is that the archegonia, that is the female sex organ, and antheridia, that is the male sex organ, both are absent in the angiosperm ovule or in the male structure of the angiosperm. It is absent. Archegonia and antheridia, they are mostly present in the lower plants such as the bryophyte, pteridophyte and gymnosperm. They are commonly occur, but it is totally absent in the angiosperm. That means these two sex organs, antheridia and archegonia, are absent in the angiosperm. This is also one important characteristic. The endosperm is triploid in case of angiosperm because there is a triple fusion takes place at the center, and the nucleus is there, that is primary endosperm nucleus or secondary nucleus. It is called as a triploid nucleus, and after that a large number of mitotic divisions takes place, or prenuclear divisions takes place in the triploid nucleus, and it produces simply a large number of cells with a triploid nucleus, and hence it is called as a triploid endosperm. And endosperm is a nutritive tissue. In the angiosperm, it is a nutritive structure which provides nutrition at the time of development of embryo from zygote. Zygote simply developed, or after some number of division, it develops into an embryo. At that time, whatever the food is essential, it is provided by this endosperm. Hence, endosperm is the nutritive organ of the seed. Then, these angiosperm plants are having well-marked alternation of generation. That means there are two generations. The dominant generation is a sporophytic generation, and reduced generation or dependent generation is there. It is a gametophytic generation. These two generations are coming alternately, hence it is called as alternation of generation, and it is well marked. It is totally different from each other, and hence it is called as well marked alternation of generation. The first important generation, the plant body is sporophytic, flower is sporophytic, it produces a microspore and megaspore. Up to that, all developments are simply a sporophytic one. And then the microspore, that is pollen grain, and megaspores are developed. From that, a gametophytic phase start up to the fertilization. All the stages are there. They are gametophytic, and after fertilization, when the seeds are developed, from that the sporophytic generation again retained, and hence it is called as a alternation of generation, a well differentiate sporophytic and gametophytic generation coming alternately. And in this sporophytic generation is a dominant generation. Here, this is about all these saline features of angiosperm, and it is important for a descriptive question. If it is occur, this descriptive question, 10 marks question, at that time it may be given, that is describe in brief a saline features of angiosperm.